emerging from the ochre embrace of the Sahara felt rather like waking from a particularly vivid dream. Having communed rather deeply with my own thoughts and the reliable thrum of the Enfield for quite some time, and Merzouga, bless its sandy heart, provides noise in abundance. It turns out this particular patch of magnificent desolation is something of a hotspot on the Moroccan tourist trail. Our vehicle? Not my trusty steed this time, but a robust four-wheeled contraption booked for a ride across the dunes, a jeep tour. It felt wonderfully conventional. And yet, bounding over the sand waves, the wind whipping through the open sides, sharing laughs with newfound companions, there was an undeniable charm to it. After the profound solitude, the simple joy of shared experience felt remarkably refreshing. It seems connection is just as vital a part of the journey as the miles clocked. Merzouga, despite its bustling nature, still held pockets of wonder. The activities were plentiful. It was like a Disneyland in the desert. Pools, ATV, and bike tours. Every night you could hear the sound of music and party. Particularly striking were the ruins of the Mifis Mine. Standing amidst those skeletal remains, scattered across a landscape that genuinely looked borrowed from Mars, you couldn't help but feel a shiver of history. This wasn't just random decay, it was the ghost of industry. Back in the days of the French protectorate, this desolate spot buzzed, albeit likely harshly. Men toiled here, wresting lead ore in the dark powdery coal, destined for eyeliners across the globe, from the unforgiving rock. A significant source of mineral wealth during that colonial chapter. Now, silence reigns, save for the desert wind sighing through the ruins, a stark monument to vanished enterprise. Amidst the desert's edge, we stumbled upon our first encounter with Gnawa musicians. I'd certainly heard of this hypnotic spiritual sound before, tales of ancient rhythms carried across the sands. But hearing it live, pulsating in the air, entirely different kettle of fish. Now one might expect a purely tourist performance in such a place, but dash it all, it felt remarkably genuine. So much so that before long, we weren't merely listening, but gamely joining in, adding our own brand of enthusiastic, if perhaps slightly syncopation-challenged accompaniment. One might gaze upon this seemingly endless canvas of sand and stone, and deduce, perhaps with a touch of the dramatic, that life itself had packed its bags and moved elsewhere. And yet, behold the humble desert grasses, such as the resolute Panicum turgidum. These unassuming sprigs are not merely surviving, they are staging an improbable, utterly tenacious stand against the very definition of unforgiving, demonstrating an almost unreasonable will to simply be. It was across landscapes such as this, seemingly devoid of all but shimmering heat and stubborn flora, that the great salt caravans once trudged. A truly staggering undertaking, when one pauses to consider it. Miles upon parched miles, the clanking of hooves, the patient shuffle of feet, all in pursuit of a mineral once considered as valuable as gold. One pictures the scene, a slow, sinuous serpent of commerce winding its way across the vastness, a testament to human ingenuity and a truly remarkable tolerance for discomfort. These immense, mobile operations were utterly reliant, of course, upon the scattered pearls of civilization dotted along their routes. The little villages, often appearing like mirages in the shimmering distance, weren't just convenient rest stops. Oh no. They were vital nodes, providing not only the absolute essentials, water and provisions, but also repairs, a market for goods, and a brief, invaluable respite from the relentless embrace of the desert. One can only imagine the sheer relief etched on a caravan leader's face upon sighting the first mud brick walls after weeks of empty horizon. And astonishingly, in some of these more remote settlements, the rhythm of life appears to have changed remarkably little over the centuries. Stepping into their dusty lanes feels less like arriving in the modern era and more like gently nudging a door open into a bygone age. The frantic, incessant march of technological progress seems to have taken a rather leisurely detour around these parts, leaving them beautifully, stubbornly preserved. Observing these echoes of the past, one is reminded that while the grand caravans may have faded into legend, the spirit of resilience and connection remains woven into the very fabric of this extraordinary place. And as for what lies ahead, well, I find myself looking forward to discovering that immensely.